All right. Dear Bill Joke Guy, I'm serious when I say college is dumb. Well, I wouldn't argue with that. Why does it sound weird in my headphones right now? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. What did I do? What did I do? It's not you, it's me. Maybe because I made fun of the Royals. Not the Kansas City ones either. I'm a sophomore and I haven't learned shit. Liberal arts colleges are just extensions of high school. I've taken two history classes that haven't gone much more in depth than my high school classes. Well, yeah, I mean, so all of college is dumb? I don't think they're doing that at MIT. He goes, he or she says, I have to take electives like music history. I came to college to major in biology with plans to become a doctor. You know what would help me save lives in the future and do my job better? Not filling my head with bullshit like, why did ragtime jazz evolve to Mississippi blues? This would be interesting if I was watching a free documentary, but it's infuriating paying $25,000 a year for this. Well, you know something, kid? There's somebody that's going to take that class who's thinking they want to be a doctor, and all of a sudden maybe they'll get into music. I don't know. The college system is a waste of time and money, and it's wildly inefficient. I've learned a lot about myself and how to and not to pick up chicks at the bar, and I've made good friends. I think the stigma of not going to college is changing a bit. Will you encourage your kids to go to college? Depends on what they want to do. I don't know. That's a long way off. But I thought you were going to say other things about why you thought college was stupid. I think going to a big, expensive college is stupid. Obviously, if you want to be a doctor, I think you need a little bit of training. It's not like you can go on YouTube and figure out how to do that shit. I think the major, or what'd you say you wanted to do? Major in biology with plans to become a doctor. Yeah, I mean, that's something you have to go to school for. It's not like, I'm kind of thinking of starting my own business. I don't know, blah, blah. You can always take a couple of business courses at a cheap school. I mean, a spreadsheet is a spreadsheet. Okay? The principles of business are the same. I watched that documentary about those rich people having their kid's head cut and pasted onto an athlete's head so they could get into a fucking school. They were talking about prestigious colleges, and that the initial definition, it's a French word, and the initial definition of it meant deceit. A prestigious college, it's, I think you go to those colleges because you get to fucking, your college roommate is Bill Gates Jr. But other than that, 1 + 1 = 2 in a fucking state school versus an Ivy League school. And what I found the keys to being successful is you really have to, you got to surround yourself with positive, supportive people. Which is hilarious because I spent 8 years at the Comedy Cellar. And so much of it comes down to, it really comes down to you. You could have a Harvard degree, you could have could go to Quincy Junior College, right? Just picking where I grew up, the most prestigious versus the one that everybody or Bunker Hill Community College. It really doesn't make a difference. Nobody gives a fuck about that piece of paper when they're getting into business with you, if you have a business idea. If you ever watch Shark Tank, none of them are ever saying, where did you go to college? They just what is your idea? How much you in for? How much have you sold? Where do you see this? Whatever the fuck they ask. That's all they're asking. So, but there's other things becoming a doctor and stuff. I mean, you need to get your training. So I would actually think that you're one of the few people that's going to college and amassing all of this. I still don't think it should cost as much as it does, though.
I don't know. I kind of talked all around all of that shit. But I always felt like the way to go, like if you wanted to go to a very prestigious school, is to transfer in after 2 years. To your freshman and sophomore year somewhere else, transfer in. And then you're still going to get the big prestigious degree for half the money. Seems like the better way to go. But if your parents have money and they can get you into some big-ass school and they got a great football program, you can get drunk and act like a fucking idiot for 4 years, I mean, that's also fun, too. You got your whole life to work, right? Why start now? All right, girlfriend wants us to move to Hollywood. Hey, Billy Butterbean. I'm a 26-year-old guy, and my 24-year-old girlfriend of 4.5 years has decided she wants to chase her childhood passion of acting. When she initially mentioned wanting to take acting class, I was very supportive and told her to pursue it to her heart's content. Well, a couple weeks ago, she decided the acting school she wanted to go to was the fucking American Academy of Dramatic Arts in Hollywood. I tell her to apply, being the caring fucking bozo I am, and she gets in. Of course she did. Now she wants us to move to LA in January for the winter semester. We live in Texas and barely make enough to live in our modest 2-bedroom apartment. When I explained to her how expensive LA is and that we do not have jobs there and that we would have to leave behind a lot of our 2 bedrooms worth of furniture to live in a small shitty apartment, she says I care too much about money and material possessions and that she is so disappointed I can't be excited to go on this adventure with her. Yeah, I imagine if the tables were turned. Would she want to go on this adventure and leave that L-shaped couch? Keep in mind, we were long distance from 2018 to 2020 when she moved back to our state. I took a second job so we could afford a 2-bedroom that she begged for. Begged for! Exclamation point. Now I am the bad guy for saying I do not want to downsize to a smaller place in fucking Hollywood. I love this girl. She's a sweet and lovely lady. Isn't that amazing? After all that shit that she's doing to you still, I mean, unreal. I intend on marrying her, but how can I tell her she's out of her mind and that trying to move to Hollywood to become an actress is a fucking fairy tale dream? Any help you or the lovely Nia is much appreciated. Thanks, and go fuck yourself. No, moving to Hollywood and becoming an actress is not a fairy tale dream. It happens all the time. So my question is do you really believe that she can do this shit? Or are you just saying, yeah, whatever you want to do because you're just being a good guy? And now it became real, and now you're going to say, like, your dream isn't going to come true. You don't want to do that to her. But also, she's looking out for herself here, and you have to look out for yourself. You're both single. You're not married to each other. You're just boyfriend, girlfriend. So you have to make the decision, do I love this person enough to leave the comfort and the space of Texas, not to mention the Texas mentality, to come out to Hollywood to hear the inverse of what you think about a lot of things and how you see the world. And, what about you? What about your dream? I think this is a time to be selfish. In that you have to figure out what you want. This is one of these things. You're not being She's going after what she wants, and she doesn't give a fuck about dragging you out there. She doesn't give a fuck about the quality of life that you're going to live while she's there. She doesn't give a shit. She's got her eye on the prize, and she wants to go get this shit, which there's nothing wrong with that. So what you got to do, you almost got to be the chick here. You got to be like, well, what's in it for me? You got to put a ring on my finger if I'm going to go out. That's what they do. But she wins that too. If so, I don't know. I don't know, man. Can't you just find some chick that likes the line dance and driving the fucking, rubbing your dick in a fucking Chevy Silverado as you drive down the street, listening to Travis Tritt? I mean, there's got to be a million of those out there, right? Why don't you just do that? Why don't you just say, listen, I think we had a great run. I don't want to move out there. I don't want to ruin your fucking dream. But my dream is not to, live in L.A., and, watch somebody else's dream come true. My dream's to stay right here in Texas, right? Give myself a spread north of Dallas. Have a woman that can make me some chicken and biscuits. Listening to country music. What would you do? You had to give your life for freedom. What would you do? Yeah, you got to figure out what you want here, buddy. It all depends. You know, some people don't mind, like, I don't know. I think if you want to be like a house husband, because at that point, you know, she goes out and makes it. She's going to be on set fucking all day long. Somebody's going to have to be at home with the kids. You know, I don't know. That's a tough one. And that is a big ask for you to move all the way out there. But if that's what she really wants to do, I want her to do it, and I just want you to do what's right for you, which is what you have to figure out. Which it sounds to me that you think like her, the fact that you think her dream is ridiculous, which is what it sounds like, I would not go out there. Because at some point, you're going to be fucking pissed, you know, when rodeo season starts and you're watching it on some little square TV and she's over in the corner going, to be or not to be. And you're like, what the fuck? Why don't you make me a fucking sandwich instead of sitting over there doing that lottie-dottie shit? I just don't want you to get involved in that. There have been a lot of stereotypes in this story, and it's because I'm ignorant. All right.